Welcome everyone to Voz que Libertam.
Welcome.
Olá, bem-vindos.
Então, hoje temos um convidado, como prometido, o Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hi,
Hello.
Rob.
Hiya.
Welcome.
Thank you.
E pronto, a partir de agora vamos falar em inglês para o Rob poder interagir.
Yes. So, Rob, it's nice to you accept our invitation to stay here with us, and can you tell us something about you? I present you?
I can present myself, no problem. My name is Rob. I met Cris, probably a year and a bit now, just over a year ago for our university course. And we hit it off. We became good friends pretty quickly, I think. And we've got to know each other very well. And I speak for myself here, but I've become very close to Cris. And we've had some lovely meetings together, and we're like the naughty school children in our university classes, sitting together. But we both, I think I speak for Cris here as well, we both absolutely love the course, and we're enjoying our new professions that lie ahead of us, our new jobs. I live not far from the university here in the UK. I moved here to the countryside about 4 years ago. I lived in London for 10 years. And before that, I lived at home, not that far away from where I currently live, just outside of London. So I've moved from a very family orientated, sort of a family environment. I met my husband whilst I lived in that area, and we moved together to London, where we lived for 10 years. And then during COVID, we made the decision that city life wasn't for us. And we started to have a look around the area that I now live in, and we managed to find somewhere to live. And we've lived here for that long now, and we're loving living in the countryside and not the city anymore. So yeah,
which is a big change, isn't it?
So yeah, city life is very different to where we live now, on the London Underground every day, commuting to work, around hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people every day. However, saying that, I do miss the diversity of people who I was around. And by that, I mean ethnicity, sexuality, age. You see all of life in London, and I do miss that occasionally. I miss being on the doorstep of culture. We had theatres a walk away from us. We had amazing bars and restaurants. I miss all of that because now literally I look out my window and I just see, it's very beautiful. I see fields, I see deer, I see hills. So it's very different.
Yeah, I've been to London a few times, and yeah, I don't really know how to explain it properly. And I don't think I can do it justice really, but it's just everything, isn't it? It's just a bit of everything, and it can be quite overwhelming because you know, like for example, the islands that me and Dina are from, like for example, my island, when I left, it was around 8,000 people. I don't know how many is now, but almost everyone knows everyone, or you know the uncle of everyone, or someone, or you will know, or if you say the name of the family, you will know, you know, someone. And then in London, you probably see 8,000 people within, I don't know, maybe half an hour or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, and everyone is so different. There isn't, you don't look and you see, oh, there is a pattern here. The pattern there is no one looks alike. And yeah, and that's fascinating, really. Yeah, I like it. I like that. Yeah.
Can I ask you, Rob, about the community we talk here? What do you want to say about that?
So the community in terms of LGBT plus community, you mean, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the conversation we've just had is a nice introduction to that, because when I came out when I was in my early 20s. I didn't have a very nice experience for lots of different reasons. However, I tell you that because the community meant a lot to me at that moment, because it was there for me. It was supportive, and it was somewhere I felt at home and loved, and somewhere I could go to and feel safe. So when I now think of the community, it has a very different meaning to me. The community can still provide those things, but it doesn't feel for me as accessible, as available to me as it used to. It's not something I can pop down the road to a gay pub. I can't go to a gay club very easily anymore. Sadly, a lot of those places are closing down now, so they're now harder to find. So the community has become a very different place in these past, I would say, 5 years. And I would say the community is now like, I don't know what the Portuguese word is for this. It's like an activist effort. I don't know how you translate that, Chris, but it's more of a campaign group, which is great and obviously important, and one of the reasons we're talking today. However, I only now meet that community when I go on pride marches, or to pride events, or to LGBT campaign events. They're the only times I really see the community now. Yeah, so it's a very different thing to me. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
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 It's changed for me, and specifically for what you are both talking about mainly on this podcast, the transgender community was not something when I was in my 20s that was acknowledged. I'll be completely honest with you. It was all about cross-dressers. That was the term.
Yeah.
You could have said to me in a gay pub when I was in my 20s, transitioning, I wouldn't have known what you meant. There was, just because of the conversations I was having, I wasn't involved. I don't think the transgender community was as ingrained in the community I was in my local gay pub. And if there was someone who was transgender in the gay pub that I used to go to, I just didn't realize. I had never met a transgender person until I went to live in London. And I'm guessing that's probably because in London it's a much safer place for you to be an open transgender person. And I hope that this is a very big conversation, but I hope that some of the conversations that we're having in our world, in my generation, mean that transgender people just feel more comfortable to come out and be open around people, and share their feelings. So in terms of the podcast that you talk a lot about yourself, Chris, here in the transgender community, I think it's great, because when I went on the Pride March this year and last year, the transgender community was up the front with the trans flags and shouting, and at the moment that's a hugely important thing because of what's going on in the world, and the controversial discussions that are happening, and long may that continue. And big ally here for transgender rights. But yeah, so that's another way it's changed.
Yeah, so well, the podcast is not focused on the transgender community. It's one thing that I have to do, and I want to go back to, what you were saying in that, and I would like to explore, if you would like to explore that a bit more. But for example, when you were talking, I was thinking that growing up, I didn't even add that. We didn't even add a place to go. So it's a difference. There is a difference there on the upbringing, where I never been to a gay club until I came to England. That was the first time.
And how did that feel to you, walking in those doors?
It was mad. It was absolutely mad. I just felt like I was going to be eaten. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's not much more than that I can say about it. Really, it's just I was petrified. I didn't know what was going to happen. All this, and I guess all these bad things that I've heard for so many years, that being that in that environment is a sin, and I'm going to hell, and stuff like that. And I just thought, oh my God, it's going to be this thing that people are going to be doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or they're going to do things to me that they shouldn't do, stuff like that. And it was nothing like it. My experience was nothing like it. And I had a great time. I had a great time.
I don't want to know.
Because no, it wasn't that great time. It wasn't that time. It was just I could be who I was for the first time without feeling of, oh, can I go and sit over there? Or having to scan the environment, like, is that table accepting of me, or is this barmaid or barman, do they seem accepting? Do they seem all right with who I am? Can I be myself? That was, because in the world, every time that I leave my own house, that's the question constantly. Every time that I came across someone, is this person gonna be okay with who I am? And that it's just, it took me a while to understand it, because it was just confusing. It wasn't that I didn't feel straight away. It was just confusing, not having to scan if it was all right for me to stand, if it was all right for me to sit, if it was all right for me to dance. But I felt straight away that no matter who I was, or no matter who I was trying to be, because at that time I was Christina as a lesbian, right? It didn't matter. They could not give a shit. They could not give a shit. All they wanted is have a good time. Just have a good time. And I loved it. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. So for me, that was the first experience. And then after that, I have the pride, like you're saying. But yeah, and I did interacted with a group that they meet up weekly, but then because of university and work, I just couldn't do it. It was just too much for me, which is unfortunate, really. But yeah, having somewhere, you were talking, having somewhere where you can just be yourself and actually have within that pub, just have that community. I wonder what that feels like,
Well,
because
I mean,
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's just, you talking about it sends shivers down my spine, because that's how important it was to me. And when I was going to those gay pubs and clubs back in those days, there was always a security guy on the door, and the windows were always blacked out. and there were always the blinds were always drawn. So when you pulled up to these places, you had this really mixed feeling of like, oh, what's in there? Sometimes it was a bit like, oh God, what am I going to find?
Because you went to different ones. It wasn't just you just had the one to go when you would go there. You had different ones that you went.
Yeah, there were different ones that we went to in the local
Wow.
area, but they all had that same feeling of like, oh, what's inside? But what that also did was it fed the feeling of you being naughty or dirty,
Yeah.
because you were like, oh, you got the feeling of something dirty happening in there, and I'm going in there. So it fed that stuff that we were being told outside of those places where we weren't safe, that you're not normal, you are dirty. All of that stuff was sort of pictured there in front of you. And it was when you went through those doors and you were like, oh, it's a pub, or oh, it's just a bar. But you're right, you can turn off that scanner that you use every day, that every day you're going like looking at people going, what are they thinking, where do you know, how should I act, that you were talking about now. You can turn it off and you just go, oh, because you're not exhausted anymore, and you can just enjoy yourself and be who you want to be. And those few hours, they could sometimes were only 2 or 3 hours, were the most precious to me in a whole week. And I never wanted to leave. And when I did leave, I'd be on a high. But the next morning, boop, put the scanner back on and off you go. And you know you've got a tough week ahead of you, or you've gone home to something awful and you know that's what you've got to live with for a week. So those few hours a week would be enough to literally keep me alive. You know, those places were so important, so important. And now, as we were talking about with Dina, the community changing, there are no blinds on the windows. The windows are not blacked out unless you go to somewhere really disgusting in Vauxhall in London and you do not want to see in the windows. But there's not a security guard on the door of an everyday gay pub, or gay pubs just don't exist anymore. So I guess you can see that as a good thing because progress has been made. But I miss that sense of being around your people and feeling comfortable and having something to share with people that you can feel special about, rather than feeling awkward and horrible about. You're gay, I'm gay. That means we already have something in common. And you can go from there, and you don't have to mind your conversation. You can talk openly about stuff without the fear of disgusting someone, or thinking about, oh my God, they must think I'm weird or horrible, because everyone can just be accepted in those places.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's and I think, you know, probably there's plenty of conversations about the situation, but for me it's because we all that are within the community, even though we are all different, it's not that, oh, you're part of the community where you're all the same. No, it's not that. But I think it's because we all have our own version of the same story.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like the coming out. Everyone that is part of the community as, you know, dramatic, happy, every day, every minute. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, but we all have our own personal version of the same, of the you know, the same situation, like I said before. And I think that's why when I meet with someone, like for example with you, Rob, when I met you and that, I you know, I just felt that connection. I just felt that I don't even know how to explain it really. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it, but that's how I feel with everyone else. Like it could even be somebody in the road, on the road, on the street, or whatever. If I feel, or if I get to know that somehow or somewhere they are queer, then it's almost like we're family. It's such a weird concept.
I think
Yeah.
I feel the family thing a lot more when I'm at a Pride event.
All right.
Or yeah, maybe when I'm in a gay pub or club, obviously. But yeah, the last time I felt that was at a Pride event, and you do feel I feel special. I feel like I'm amongst friends and I can be myself, and I feel very passionately about our rights in those moments, which is why it's important those moments happen. I would like to feel more of that. I miss that feeling, whether that be a group of LGBT plus people that I could meet with, whether that be a gay pub I can walk into and have a drink. I don't know, but I do miss that feeling. I remember when there was a shooting in a gay club in, I think it was in Orlando. I can't remember, in America. I can't remember how long ago it was. It was terrible. I can't remember how many people were killed, which is terrible in itself, but it was a tragic event. And I lived in London, and I found on Facebook that they were holding a vigil. People were getting together in one of the famous gay high streets in Soho. And I went along, and the whole street was full of LGBT plus people and allies, straight people as well. And everyone had a candle, and the gay men's chorus sang some songs in memory of the people who had been killed. And that's when I thought, my God, this is so special. And this is when you have to rise up and be seen and say, this is not acceptable. This has to stop. This cannot happen. And it was really emotional, and it hit me so hard. And I never want to lose that feeling. You can call it community or whatever, but I never want to lose that feeling. And every now and then I get that at a Pride march, when you hear someone's story when they're talking on stage. There was I don't know if you remember, there was a politician who spoke at the Pride event we went to, Chris, do you remember? And
Yes.
she spoke about her trans grandparent, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah.
And how they hid that for so many years. And that story got me.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to go to those events, I think, and to hear those stories, and to remember that we still, sadly, have a fight. And that fight is feeling like it's rising again. And that's worrying. A bit scary. I wouldn't want to live in the United States at the moment, but equally I fear that the stuff that's happening over there is not that far away in this country, and that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
So we have to keep that fight, which is why sometimes I get nervous that Pride only happens once a year, or I can't find a gay group, or I can't find a gay pub anywhere. I'm like, we have to keep that feeling alive somehow, that there are people together and we can pull together. I have no doubt that we would, if something awful happened, it would all happen again. But I just want more of a connection across a year, maybe.
Yeah, I think what happened, and we spoke about this before, is that what happened was we know people that came before me, probably in your time, or like
That's rude.
no, before I came out. I only came out when I was 24.
I thought you talked about my
And
age, before your time.
No. I only came out when I was 24, so that was quite late. I would say that was quite late. And as a transgender, only when I was 34, so that was 10 years later. So, do you know what I mean? Like, But
Well, I'll just stop you there,
saying,
Chris. I'll just stop you there because I think what needs to be acknowledged there is that you've come out several times.
yeah,
I mean,
well,
we
indeed, well,
we all come out every day. We've discussed that as well. You know,
yeah, exactly.
if someone says, "How's your wife?" to me, I have to come out. You know,
Yeah.
every other day, I think we have to come out in some way. If that's going into a restaurant with my husband or whatever, you are effectively coming out. But you did it twice, significantly.
Yeah, for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like you were the difference between being hidden, right? Or this is the feeling that I'm getting, is that in the past you were the pubs to go to, but it was a hidden thing. And then what I think it happened was people started to be more like, more proud and more like
Pull the
more
blinds
out.
up. Yeah.
Exactly, more out and proud. And then what happened, and this is the situation that I came into, is that we lived amongst everyone else.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that we should live separately, but I had to learn how to be myself, or at least try to be myself amongst the people that I had around me. So amongst straight people, to put it as it is, I had to make it work.
Yeah.
Even though majority of the people around me had no fucking clue, right? What was to be me? What was, all of that side of my life that everyone else, like for example, Dina had a husband, had a son, right? And many other people around us were like that. And that part of myself was never in the picture.
Yeah.
Right? Like you knew of a few relationships that I had, but you didn't really knew about everything that I went through, or do you know what I'm saying? So, and then of course, for me, there was a second layer of transgender, which is something that nobody fucking knew. So, but I had to make it work amongst whoever was around me. And like you're saying that it was a hidden thing in the past, I then had to make it work with the people that are around me. And like now you're saying it would be nice to have that back. And I'm not going to lie, it does sound amazing to have a pub where I knew that I could go to and be able to, okay, let me just be myself for a couple of hours. It's almost like a recharge for the week. And that's what it sounds that you were saying.
Yeah.
Mate, I would love to experience that. I would love to have that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, these places still exist. But bit by bit they seem to be closing. So what I'm interested to know is how it is for Dina, how it is having heard what you've just said, having known Chris during those years, and now having done this podcast for a few weeks. Have you learned a lot of things, Dina?
Yes. When Chris do the invitation for me, I don't think about this. I don't know what is a podcast. I don't know nothing about the community. I just know Chris, and I told you someday, when I decide to do this with Chris, I want to stand by with him, and I want to learn. I want to know what the people feel what the people do to passar por cima disto. How I
Get by.
say.
To get by, yeah.
Okay.
Get by.
And I want to learn. I want to know. I want to. I know there's many people, or two people suffer too much in this life, to be a gay, to be a trans or whatever. But I want to know. I want to learn, and if I can, I don't want to say I can help you, because help you how? But I want to stay here for when you quiseres.
Need.
Mhm.
How I say, Chris?
Need. When you
Need,
need.
yeah. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
need, yeah.
So yes, and
Yeah.
I really like what do you say? What do your story, a little story about you, and now how you feel when you think in your life in the past.
Well, when I was, if I could speak to me as a 21-year-old or a 25-year-old now and tell Rob that I have a husband, and we met in 2007. That's a long time ago for a gay couple. That's a long time for gay people to be together. So we've set some record, I'm sure.
That's more like a lesbian relationship, isn't it?
That, Chris, that is the complete opposite to a lesbian relationship. You know that.
No, it's not.
It is. The average lesbian relationship, as you know, to be completely stereotypical for comedic effect, is about 2 weeks.
No, that's why I'm joking.
But no. So yeah, if I could have told, that I'm a married man to another man and tried to explain that to my family, my good God. So, I'm in a very, 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 very different place now. We own a house in the countryside. We have a dog. We're accepted in our community. We have next to no problems with anyone towards us being gay. We worried about moving to the countryside to a very small village, but the village I live in has been wonderful, and I don't think it even crosses people's minds anymore. So now really we only have to tread carefully around where we go to travel, where we go on holiday. Perhaps if we, I think that's probably the main thing, is where we travel. I don't think in the UK we really worry about who we are. I'm starting to think that maybe we will, which makes me not want to be in this country when that moment happens. I hope it doesn't, but so yeah, I think that's, what a great situation to be in, and I'm so thankful for that things have changed so much.
Great.
And what I don't want to do is take away from the community that not that long ago in the 80s, you could be arrested for being gay. Let's not forget that's not that long ago. And they had the AIDS crisis and they could be arrested for who they were. That's not my generation. That was going on when I was very small and didn't know anything about it. But when I speak to people from that generation who lived through those moments, I can't imagine. It must have been absolutely horrific, which, as we all know, made the community go underground and is the reason for those blacked out windows and those blinds that were there that are in this country aren't really there anymore, which is great. But that's quite a short amount of space of time. That's in my lifetime, really, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that, like like you're saying now, that it was that made people go underground and, you know, be kind of separate, because they needed somehow to, you know, to be together and kind of help each other. Really, it's that sense of community and sense of support that we can get in the outside world. That's the truth.
And yeah, isn't it funny just thinking about it, that perhaps that's something I'm longing for that came out of such horrible times. Something that every now and then I miss a gay pub or something, you know, that sense of community. Perhaps I miss the dark windows. I don't know, that this is our space, you can't come in thing. But all of that came out of the fact of non-acceptance and needing somewhere to escape to and hide. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but the purpose, I know that what made that happen, it was nice, but the purpose was what you're lacking.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, the way you speak about it is even something that I need. I didn't know I needed. Do you know what I mean? Because like we are trying, Dina and I, we are trying to create a little bit of a community where people hear other people's stories and, oh, my story is a little bit of that, or this, or oh, I didn't know it was like that for other people, or I didn't know that other people went through stuff or similar stuff what I'm going through or that I've been through, and that's the whole purpose of it. But you're talking in a completely different scale, because what we're doing is, or what we're trying to do is do between, I don't know, between 30 to 40 minutes weekly to someone. Yeah, but that, having a physical, a physical place where there's other people there, that where with who we can be, you know, who we are really, and
yeah,
and that'll be okay.
Yeah, when I think about that, I think how difficult it must be, because as you say, it's a lovely thing to hear about. Sometimes it's exciting to hear about. But if you're on a small island and you know that that's completely inaccessible to you, and that's not going to happen soon, and the only way to find that is to travel, I mean, that's a very difficult and lonely place and thought to have. So I'm aware that how lucky I am that I can still go into London, and if I want to, I can still find that. So yeah, I want to sort of I want to hire a private jet for people who live on your island.
Yeah, come to London.
Just want to experience it for a weekend, and we can all have an amazing time. And then go back to our lives. But
yeah, it doesn't work like that. Yeah,
it doesn't work like that. No,
100%. If I'm honest, I don't know. I don't know of bars or that are actually just LGBT bars. But we do have a main island, which is San Miguel, that is the more developed, and there's more people living in there. They might have. I don't really. I know the island, but I don't know the island, if you know what I mean. So I don't want to say that in the Azores there isn't.
Yeah.
Gay bars, because I don't know. That's just it.
Here, I think we don't have.
In Saint George, I never heard of it.
No.
I never heard of it.
And
well, there you are, Dina. You can start one in your house.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. All we can promise is you will have a great time.
Just this. You can promise. You came here.
Yeah, that too.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, that too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We get the private jet from Rob.
Yeah.
And instead of bringing people to London, we go there.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to say to other people's like you, for example?
I used to work for an LGBT plus helpline in a listening line in London, and you would get calls from people my age and above who got married to a woman and were in a relationship with a woman and had had children, and would call anonymously to this listening line to talk about the fact that they were gay, and that during what I'm guessing, you know, they couldn't admit their sexuality to themselves at the time. They were hiding it, you know, many reasons why they would get into a straight relationship with someone of the opposite sex, to hide their sexuality or whatever, to have children. I would speak to a lot of people and think to myself, that could have been me. That could easily have happened to me, because I was being pushed in that direction and I was being told it was right, and that was the only way you'd be able to live your life, because you should be normal, and what you're choosing, Rob, is not normal. So when these men of my age would call, or a little bit older would call and tell me that sometimes used to hit quite hard, because I could hear myself in their voice, and the thoughts they were having were thoughts I used to have. And I used to think to myself, I used to be so thankful that I was brave enough and had the courage to not do that and say no. And that decision meant an awful lot of painful experiences for me. But now I look where I am, and I'm so thankful that somehow I found that courage. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know why I told you that story. But I'm just thinking of a parallel universe my life could have been.
And you are a normal person.
Yeah. Well, everybody is normal. I am now a happy person, and yeah, I'm very thankful for that. I didn't have the support, so somehow I found that courage, and I've spoken about that in my personal therapy for a long time. Somewhere in me is some courage. I think I know where I get some of it from, but I've had some dark moments, and I didn't think I could find that courage, but it was there, and here I am. And you know, I thank my courage for that. But to a certain extent, I have an amazing support structure around me of friends, and of course my husband, who's just been incredible, especially over these past few years, in supporting me with the new venture of going back to university and stuff. And I have a very good friend of mine who's been with me since I came out when I was 21, and you know, she lives just over there now, and we've had an incredible journey together, and I don't know what I would have done without her. So whilst I have that courage, I think that courage was pushed from her, and yeah, she was a huge support for me then. So I think if I was to say to anyone right now is if you can, start to build a support structure. And of course, that's so difficult for someone who's on a tiny island that, like you speak of, Cris and Dina, you know, that must be such a challenge, is to find people who can be there to support you. I was always told I would have no friends when I came out. You know, you will have no friends, so you have to work hard to try and find them. In those dark moments, you know, I had to remember there are people out there who are okay with this, and I need to find them. Thankfully, I had one who was already okay with it, and I think she's straight, but she enjoyed the gay pubs more than I did, thank God. And that helped normalize things for me. And, you know, it meant that there was so much fun and joy and excitement to be had going to those places together. And we've carried on that. I'm getting quite emotional, but, you know, our friendship continues to be that excitement and that joy whenever we are out together. We've had some amazing times. We've had some amazing fallouts, mainly my fault. But that's an amazing friendship. And she's been, Cris, you spoke of those people who are constant in your life. You know, she's been there, that constant when I've needed her. And yeah, so those people are so important.
Yeah, like you know, just to share a little bit of that, of what you're saying. You know, I used to hear people saying, "Oh, there is people out there, there is people out there," blah blah blah. You know, a little bit of what you said right now, and when I was in that pain, when I was in that, there's nobody around me, like I had nobody to go to that would understand me or would. I know that I'm saying this, and even like Dina is present, and there might be people that will listen to this and think, yeah, but I was there, right? I think that the work that I had to do on myself, because of exactly that, those voices of, you're not gonna have friends, you're not gonna have anybody that loves you, you know, you're a sin, you're going to hell, you know, everything that was about me, it wasn't good. It was not accepted. Um, and I think that was the biggest work that made me change the way I see things, the way I feel things. And that now, when you said there is somebody out there that will love you, that will accept you, I heard it in a completely different way. But in the past, when I was in that dark time, when I was isolated, and I would hear somebody saying, there is somebody out there that will love you, I will be like, where the fuck are they then? You know what I mean? And I just wanted to say this because I believe that if people listen to this podcast, there is people that are going to feel exactly the same thing, that will have all those voices of, you're not good enough, you're this, you're that, what's the fucking point, right? And they will hear there is people out there, and they will be like, well, I can't feel, nor I can see anyone.
Yeah.
So, you know, happy for you, but right now, I'm not there. And one of the things that I didn't understood then, it was that it's not that something is wrong with me. What is there's so much that I can do for myself. And no, this is not the on your own situation, go and do it on your own. But there is so much about myself, you know, those, you're not lovable, you're not wanted, you're not this, you're not, you know, everything that is so negative about you, or that other people said that it was negative about you need to change. Every person needs to change that narrative. And I understand that a lot comes from people loving you, people accepting you, people being there for you. I know that. But you can do a lot of that work yourself as well. And I'm saying this because that's the work that I've been doing. And it's fucking tough. It's really, really tough. But fuck me, crossing the bridge, every single bridge that I've been crossing, it's been so much better. And like, for example, Dina and I, we had a very good relationship, and yet at the same time, a very rocky relationship. And we are trying it again. We are giving a go at our relationship again, but we haven't spoke for what? How long have we not spoke? Nearly 10 years we haven't spoke.
10 years. Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
there was a gap of 10 years where it was hurtful. it was really, really hurtful. But I had to come to terms with certain things that I did and said, and Dina did the work as well. And we came together and we were honest with each other. We were like, I even got to a point that I said to Dina, listen, I'm all in, but you need to be all in. Otherwise, I can do this by myself. True or not?
Yes, it's true.
And Dina's answer was, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm all in too. And that's all you can expect. That's all you can ask. And, it might happen that we probably will have plenty of blips in our life course. But hopefully, we will have the blips, we will break down, and we will build back up.
Mm.
And that was the message that I wanted to pass is, yeah, just because something is broken, that doesn't mean that's the end of the line, and that doesn't mean that's going to be like that forever.
Mm.
There is ways to build back up.
Mm.
And, and you can do with that for yourself and with others.
Yeah, there's nothing. I remember when those dark moments were upon me, and you'd get a flash of something on TV where someone gay would be talking about how amazing their life was. So I'm very conscious that I don't want to be that dickhead.
Oh yeah,
because you're like, well, great for you. I'm really pleased for you, but I'm in fucking hell here. So I was that person. So I'm not giving anyone advice.
yeah.
I think we've all been there for many different reasons, nothing to do with sexuality. We're all in that every now and then. I'm speaking for people again. I don't mean to do that. Sorry. I would imagine it's not just to do with sexuality that people find themselves in a very deep, dark, horrible situation. But there is evidence that you can get out of that. You have to find your own way. And I can't say any more than that.
Yeah.
Really, it's fucking tough to hear people like me talk about how amazing it is to be gay in a small village somewhere, and I live in a very nice house, and I have a husband who's hugely supportive. When there's some poor little gay boy in his bedroom crying himself to sleep every night and being shouted at by everyone around him, he's not going to want to watch me on this podcast. I get that. But if there's just a little bit of something there, then that can help, then oh my god, I really hope so, because I was that little boy,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a lot, isn't it, Dina?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm happy, and I appreciate Rob, you tell something in your story life, and I hope you are very, 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 very happy with your husband. And so how I say, producer?
Yeah, producer Rob.
Producer Rob.
Oh, I forgot to say. Yeah, you are.
So
right.
I need to get back to my job now. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I have to buy a big box of chocolates.
Yes.
So to send you. No, but I want.
That's how we're paying, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fine. That keeps me happy. That's fine. Chocolate. Yeah.
You are our first guest.
Yeah, I'm honored.
Thank you, Cris.
Guest. Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I wish you all the best for your amazing podcast, as I will be watching from behind the scenes. So good work, guys.
I hope so.
With your translator.
No, I closed the translator. Oh, the Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, the Rob. Yeah.
What the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, and
amazing.
if this finished, someday this podcast, Rob speak Portuguese.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obrigado.
Ah!
Oh,
That's
very
that's all
good.
I can do now. That will change.
so
So please do stay connected. Listen to our podcasts every Thursday. Do you want to say the part of the email, Dina?
yeah, you can send to us your emails for the vozesquelibertam@outlook.com, and you can do like the Rob. You can stay here with us to tell your story or something about your life, and we appreciate so much. And is everything.
Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you, Rob. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob.
Really appreciate it.
See you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.